Welcome everyone to the Russian Civ overview. Now I know they're not one of the new civs, and people are already pretty familiar with them. But, to be honest, I'm not very good at a lot of the new civs, and Russia holds a special place in my heart. So with all the recent changes, I thought this would be a good chance to make a video about them. Known for their quantity over quality style of gameplay, Russia has always been the spammer's paradise. With cheaper but weaker infantry, one-pop hand cavalry, and vills that are trained in groups of 3, if left alone, they can scale better than most civs in the game, and in my opinion, overall just have a great design. Which reminds me, if you'd like to get into game design yourself, may I suggest that one way to get you a step closer to that goal is by using today's sponsor, Southern New Hampshire University. SNHU has one of the largest accredited online degree offerings in the country, and one of their specialties is studying video game design and development. In their programming, you'll learn to create realistic dynamic gameplay experiences with game AI, game physics, 2D graphics, 3D graphics, and interface design, as well as programming languages like C++, C#, and Java, and you'll even learn 3D modeling and texturing with game art software courses taught by faculty with real-world experience. Now, the program itself is great, but what else is great is that SNHU is radically affordable, with some of the lowest online tuition rates in the nation. For more details, just head on over to snhu.edu/samurai to request your free information. When you do, not only will you be supporting the channel, but you'll get the opportunity to talk to a real person and ask them questions about their degrees. I think this is a great opportunity for those who want to study game design and development. So thank you to SNHU for sponsoring this video. Now, on to the Russians. Russia's main civilization bonus is that their settlers and infantry train faster and are cheaper, with the offset of their infantry being a good bit weaker than most civs. Their second civilization bonus, which is directly connected, is that they can have 210 population space rather than the standard 200, just so late game they don't fall too far behind. Their explorer also has an added bonus of slightly higher siege damage. The Russian economy starts off a bit slow, but scales dramatically due to their batch training vills. Not only are these batches much more time efficient, but for just 260 food you get 3 vills, making each vill only cost around 87 resources. So it's not uncommon to see 30 or even 40 plus vills if they go for a long H2. Russia also isn't missing any mill or plantation upgrade cards, meaning they are able to have one of the best basic settlers in the late game. To explain Russia's military, we're going to start with the blockhouse. A building unique to the Russians, it's a mix of 3 buildings. Costing 250 wood, it's essentially an outpost. That's also a barracks, while also supporting 5 population, which is very helpful when you're trying to get out your infantry mass. This spot space can be increased with the logistician age up and with its standard age 3 through 4 upgrades. Inside you'll find 3 units: the Strelet, a very cheap, very weak, short range but quick skirmisher; the Recruit, or as some of us know it, the Rusket, a weaker but cheaper musketeer; and the Porchik, which is a weaker and cheaper halberdier that is available in age early. All these units can be heavily carded, so if your opponent lets you, you can get a very strong horde of them. The Russian stable gets often overlooked, but it's actually very good. Their 2 unique cavalry are the Cossack and the Oprichnik. The Cossack is a 1-pop cavalry who is extremely pop efficient, having only 95 less HP and 4 less hand attack. But they are also very cost inefficient, costing 75 food and 75 coin, 150 total resources. But if you're able to get a really good economy, these guys can dominate the battlefield. The Oprichnik is a raiding-focused unit, having very low attack and HP, but super high siege, and a 3x multipliers versus vills with their hand attack. Using this unit is likely to make people hate you, but with the wall spammers we have nowadays, I'm sorry to say, they're often 100% necessary. Also available in the stable is the Cavalry Archer, which they share with the Ottomans. It is little used due to not being able to hit and run very effectively, but in an all-out fight, their HP and high DPS make them much more effective than other ranged cavalry. Russia has a unique Age 4 upgrade for them called, and I apologize if I say this wrong, Dvoriany, which grants an extra 5% more attack and HP than standard guard upgrades, and gives them an extra 5% hand attack resist, making them a good bit better versus hand cavalry and pikeman type units. Russia has many notable cards, but also has some notably missing cards. Namely, Russia has no settler shipments, which is in part why they start off slow. But to somewhat make up for that, your first shipment will usually be distributivism. which grants you a 1.25 wood per second trickle, equaling about 2.5 unupgraded settlers on wood. Unique to Russia is the card Dueling School, which is an Age 1 infantry train time card that when paired with the standard Age 2 Fencing School and the Church Tech allows you to instantly train your infantry. This card used to be necessary to achieve that, but now that going Age 5 speeds up train time. The only reason to have this card is if you want to insta-build your infantry before then, or if you want to insta-build your grenadiers, which while they do have a special Age 4 upgrade for grenadiers, they're pretty bland, so you probably won't see much of them or this card. Also notable are the Ransack and Pietro's Toy Soldiers cards. Ransack because it boosts all your infantry siege by 50%, and Pietro's Toy Soldiers because not only does it boost your Poracheks, recruits, and grenadiers in combat, but also enables your recruits to build or rebuild forts. This is great for casual, team games, and free-for-alls because of how much map control it gives you and how much pressure it lets you put on your opponent. Russia has a few good strategies. First is their Age 2 pressure strategy. Send you 2 settlers forward, you'll quickly drop 2 blockhouses while aging up. And once set up, you'll mass as many recruits as possible, as fast as possible, then throwing them at your opponent until they're dead or you're dead. There are semi-FF or defensive FF versions of this, but staying Age 2 and continuing to put on pressure is the most popular, specifically in mid to low elos. In 1v1s, standard FFs are really seen, as Russia doesn't have many strong power cards. Really, there's just the 2 Falk shipment. But it is sometimes seen if the Russian Church card has been sent, because with that card, it is possible to get a good group of powerful counter-dragoons. Rising in popularity is the Russian Fast Industrial. While it can be hard to pull off versus very aggressive civs, if you can get Age 4, you'll have available several powerful units and shipments, including the Tsar Cannon, Georgian Hussars, Counter-Jaegers, and the ability to revolt, which paired with just a couple of these cards can be very strong. I can't go into detail for all of those here, but I have made strategy videos for them, which I'll leave links to. There's a lot more I could say about Russia's cards, strategies, revolting units, like how busted Poracheks can get, but I hope I've given you enough to get you started playing the Russians.